Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining today, where we're going to talk about elevating FM in 2024. Joining me today are Kim Jackson and Starlin Berlanga. We want you to take a moment to please like us, share us on whatever platform you are tuning into. If it's YouTube, if it's Facebook, LinkedIn, just help us reach other FMs so that we can get the word out on just different opportunities that you can use to connect with other FMs. So a little bit about who we are as an association.
Yes. So, hi, everybody. Happy New Year. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a background about IFMA. We have been in the industry for over 40 years in over 130 countries now with over 24,000 members. Our mission is to lead the future of the built environment to make the world a better place. And we do this by advancing our collective knowledge, value, and growth for all of you FM professionals to perform at your highest level. So we are here to help. Today, what we're really trying to focus on is looking back at 2023, kind of looking at the different KPIs and everything that we use to review the year, and then also looking forward at 2024 and some of our challenges that we will be facing as FMs.
So we did a quick survey, quick query on what KPIs were tracked in 2023. And we want to kind of touch on a few of those, not spend a lot of time because you know what KPIs were tracked. If you don't see one that maybe your organization tracked, feel free to put it in the chat so that we can just share it out or touch on it, because other organizations might have had the same KPI that maybe wasn't answered here. So customer satisfaction, vendor performance, I think we're going to reference probably these two a little bit more than the others, just because everybody has customers and most people are vendors in their organization.
Yeah, just to add something here, Gail, I found it really interesting that one of the top ones is customer satisfaction. That is something that facility managers or the teams that support the facilities, the customers for you it's everybody making use of that facility. So you have to watch out for the health and safety of those individuals, and you're making sure that the facility is enabling them to do whatever it is that their role is. For example, if people are managing an airport, you want to ensure that it's people are being able to get to their planes, that you don't start a huge project and you start blocking them, because then your customers are going to complain and they're going to complain loudly. So customer satisfaction is a really big KPI. And then also the always ever popular, it's too hot, it's too cold. So definitely measuring that customer satisfaction encompasses so much within that built environment. But if you don't see yours here, I'm really interested. Not only let us know where you're coming in from, but also what were your KPIs if they were different? What was it that was really important to you in the previous year?
And just taking a little bit of a look forward as well into 2024, as I mentioned, we will be kind of taking a look at the chat and at the KPIs if you guys share them as well. But also, please share any challenges that you're worried about for this coming year. We've got a few of them listed here. The value of computerized maintenance management systems, balancing sustainability, that comes up a lot for a lot of companies these days, budgeting, dynamics, and then, of course, stakeholder trust and interference. So if there's anything else that we may not have captured that you think is really important, please share that as well.
Yeah, and just looking at this, IFMA has a lot of information out about emerging topics, emerging trends. Technology is not really emerging. It has been here, but it continues to gain in relevance and complexity. So seeing the CMMS and CAFM up there, I think we could probably put all types of technology, and now we have generative AI. So staying on top of this is definitely going to be a challenge for facility managers, because these are external influences that will be shaping the future of your career and your profession.
Some of the ways that IFMA is here to just help out, keep you connected, are the free resources offered on our website, ifma.org. You'll be able to find podcasts, blogs. I know that we have current and previous issues of the FMJ listed there that you can access. And I know there are a ton of really great articles in that magazine that, again, just keep you connected to other FMs in your industry or just FM in general.
Yeah, I really would encourage folks go to ifma.org and you're going to find resources in the topics of the website. These are absolutely free. They're not hidden behind any kind of login. And the FMJ that Gail mentioned, those are all original articles. They are written specifically for the facility management profession, for the FMJ, and it has a lot of great content. And there are things within FM that haven't changed for 20 years. When you're looking at operations and maintenance, there are some concepts and ways of dealing with the different situations. So be curious, go in, check out past issues. I think we have 3 years or 4 years of past issues. It is a publication every other month. So it's 6 issues a year. And it's chock full of really cool stuff. And you can search by topic and phrases. So just be curious and go in and check out these free resources. There's a lot of knowledge.
And on top of the free resources, we have resources for our paid members as well. There is quite a laundry list here in front of us because there are so many benefits to becoming an IFMA member. And you can read through these. Gail's going to go into a little bit more detail on a couple of them. But if you're curious, not necessarily ready to become a full IFMA member, we also have our Discovery membership available at a little bit of a lower price point where you can go in and explore and take a look at some of these resources that we have available and really see the value that we have to offer as an IFMA member. Gail, would you like to go into a little bit more detail on a couple of the paid resources that we have available?
Absolutely. The first one that I really like is the enrollment into that first essentials module. It just really helps you better understand what FM is if you're new to FM. I know that the Knowledge Library is going to be a really great resource. On the next slide, we're going to see a little bit of the things that it holds or warehouses. We do have all of our podcasts, webinars, blogs, white papers, anything that you're looking for. Again, we try to be helpful in being that thought leader for FMs, and we try to be a good resource for FMs to have a place to come to get these resources to better their organizations or better their roles in their organizations. There we go. I think, is there anything, Kim, that you want to add to this? Is this also going to be original items that are added?
So they're not created specifically for IFMA's Knowledge Library. These are all reviewed. They are looked at subject matter by subject matter experts. So when you look at the Knowledge Library, which just to give a little bit of context of why IFMA's Knowledge Library, IFMA's been around since 1980. That means we became a repository for a ton of information. And about 6 or 7 years ago, IFMA looked at it and said, okay, what is still relevant and how do we know? I mentioned before, there are some things that don't change, but there are other things that change quite frequently or become more complex. When you come to the Knowledge Library, IFMA's Knowledge Library, established 2015. So, oh my, how time flies. It's been 9 years. It has all current and relevant information. We recently updated the technology platform that we're using less than a year ago, which means every piece was again reviewed to ensure that it was still current and relevant. If you ever go to Google and search for information, you're going to have probably hundreds of pages of results, but you don't know who wrote them, when they wrote them. Is it still credible, relevant? The Knowledge Library is. You can find templates and checklists. You can find webinars. You can find case studies and research papers and infographics and lists of 7 things you need to watch out for in a variety of areas. In fact, you'll see 11 content areas. This ties specifically to IFMA, apologies. This ties to IFMA's 11 competencies that we've identified that facility managers need to be competent in. And so you can find information across all 11, depending on if it's operations and maintenance or project management or technology or sustainability. So a lot of great content is here. Thanks for asking, Gail. I'm very happy to share.
Well, and on top of the knowledge library, we understand people like to make data-driven decisions. We have the latest research and benchmarking available. Now, some of these will be free and some of them will be paid. I encourage you to go take a look at this on our IFMA.org page under research and benchmarking under the resources. And there's a lot of research that has been done with statistics available. We're going to dig in a little bit into some of the numbers that we have available about credentials and just how much they can affect the performance of not only employees, but your company as well.
So in 2022, we did a report, and it showed that 40% increase in employee performance for people who have IFMA credentials. That is stellar. We also did the report from 2023 showed that 68% had increase in improving employee performance with external FM training. So it wasn't just our credentials that helped boost this. This was any company who did any external training for their FM teams. So that is pretty.
Yeah, and if I can jump in here, Gail, more companies are approving external training for their teams because they realize having specific training on facility management leads to better run, better operated, and better maintained facilities. And so for IFMA's credentialed employee, or I should say employees with IFMA credentials, their performance increased 40%, the quality increased because we're specifically targeting those 11 competency areas I mentioned before that encompasses a well-rounded facility manager. Now, one thing that I'm not sure if we tied into why are we talking about training? One of the challenges, excuse me, for 2024 includes retaining your employees, developing them, making sure that they are ready for what's coming ahead. I mentioned external forces that are impacting the future of facility management. It's sustainability, it's technology, it's decarbonization. It's so many different things that need to be taken into account as companies are looking for ways to cut expenses, to make sure that they are meeting goals that are being set by their C-suite. And it's going to come down and impact the FM. So as a challenge for 2024 of staying on top of that, training will absolutely help you. And hopefully your company is one of those that is approving training through external sources. Thanks. Next slide, please.
And this goes into a lot more detail about the power of IFMA credentials and just how much they can help. Kim, I love how you tied that back to some of the challenges being faced in 2024. And part of that is the skill set of employees. So there's a 61% increase in the appraisal ratings for employee performance, 62% increase in customer satisfaction. That was a KPI from 2023. And also both in the challenges and the KPIs was production and productivity rates. And there was a 67% increase in productivity rates of employees that have an IFMA credential. So IFMA is really here to help support not only looking back and seeing just how well people have done over the last year, but also helping improve the performance over the next years to come. So we really encourage you to take a look at how IFMA can help support not only the employees, but the company as a whole.
And again, no matter where you are in your learning journey, if you're looking to earn a credential, if you just need to fill some gaps in knowledge, we do have training available. Again, individual, or if your team feels that they need to fill any gaps of knowledge, we do have that available. feel free to send an email to corporateconnections@ifma.org. And then that way we can take this offline, have that personal conversation with you, figure out where you and your team are so that we can lead you in that right direction, right? Because conversation is going to be the best way that we can figure out what your goals are and how we can help you meet them.
And I know we just crunched a whole bunch of numbers and looked at a lot of statistics. If you would like the full report, please reach out to us at corporateconnections@ifma.org. We are more than happy to share that information with you so that you can see all of the research that we have done and just exactly how this can help impact your company.
So once again, just to recap, we are here to help. We have free resources. We have resources that you are eligible for once you've paid your membership and become a member of IFMA. We just, again, want to be here to help provide any opportunities to help better yourself and your organization. So we took a couple of polls with some of our IFMA qualified instructors. Some of the questions that we had put out in our query, we did ask our instructors for their opinions because we do find what we asked to be very important. And we did ask them, I think 4 questions made it to the top that we were excited to share with you. So I think we're just going to do a quick question and answer and then share with you who provided their opinions, and then feel free to, again, reach out with any of the KPIs that you had listed out for your organization. So that,
Thanks, Gail. So the first question, sorry, I was just going to go ahead and get started. The first question we're going to look at is how can we measure company performance KPIs when it comes to preventative maintenance and productivity?
So the first person.
And I believe that Giselle.
Yep.
I was going to say, I believe that Giselle had the answer. You want to go ahead and provide a summary of what she had to say?
Absolutely. So she focuses on the balanced scorecard. A lot of people don't know what that is, but several people do. And the balanced scorecard is a way that helps the company understand what they're quantifying, because what gets measured gets improved. So having that balanced scorecard tied to specific tasks of your organization, of your employees, will help you better understand where you are, where you're looking to be, and how to get there. An example that she provided was we stated that we wanted to achieve a 90% decrease in customer complaints, and using the balanced scorecard method, they were able to identify, implement strategies under 4 perspectives of customer, continuous improvement, internal processes, and finance that would help them ultimately achieve that KPI.
So before we go away from this, Gail, what I'm taking from this is it's important for facility managers to understand what are the objectives and the goals of your company and tie what your actions are with those goals and how your team is helping the company to achieve what's important for it. So if we have a balanced scorecard, we have different initiatives, and then there are targets and goals that are very specific. And so we're able to the staff, all of the departments will look at these goals, and we all have a piece to play in helping to meet those targets that are set within the balanced scorecard, because that goes to show the health of the organization. So facility managers and those facilities teams, you absolutely have an impact on the health of your company. So look for ways that you can set your key performance indicators to those goals and strategies that are being put in place by your company. And that's a way that you're able to show how you impact the bottom line of your organization. It's a great answer. Thank you, Giselle.
The next question that we had was, are risk reward KPIs a thing of the past?
And our answer is going to be coming from Akian, who is also an IFMA qualified instructor. No, they are not a thing of the past. It's even more relevant to ensure safety, security, health, and well-being of occupants and customers. And she goes into some really great detail. There are risks associated with cybersecurity, climate change, the natural environment. Natural disasters happen daily. Workplace violence, which is something unfortunately we've all had to face. They have a severe impact on our lives and the lives of our employees. And the organization's reputation and financial viability must be identified, measured with appropriate strategies. And so these KPIs really come into play and help us mitigate these risks. The next question, how do I, looking and, reflecting on our own personal growth, how do I improve my FM skills? Gail?
So we actually got this from Vaughn, and he also is an IFMA qualified instructor. And he changed this to, again, focus on different opportunities that you as an FM can look at yourself and feel that you are making that impact. He said by joining a professional membership, such as IFMA, you have an opportunity to receive industry leading certifications. You get targeted learning because IFMA is here for facility managers in the built environment. That is how we can help target the learning for FMs. With these credentials and certifications, you have career advancement opportunities, also learning opportunities. Again, if you don't, maybe you don't need a credential right this moment, but you need to know more about, say, risk management. We have a class on that. We have training on that. That will definitely help you just fill those gaps in knowledge, or maybe those are things that you don't know. Also, whenever you become a member, you get different perks, right? Such as discounted training opportunities, or you also get networking opportunities. So being a professional member of an association really does help elevate you because you have an opportunity to get opinions from those in your industry or just FMs in general.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in as well. Um, when you join any association or professional group, if you don't engage and interact at the end of that term, usually it's a 1-year membership, you may say, I didn't get any value from this. But ask yourself, did you attend any meetings? Did you pay attention to the emails where there were links to white papers or things that are happening? Did you attend any webinars? The learning opportunities that's listed here, if you don't engage, you will not benefit from them. Leadership opportunities. I know in every component, which IFMA has a chapter that would be based on where you live, we have councils that are vertical industries. I mentioned airports before. Well, we have an airport facilities council. And then we have communities. We have a military community. And that comprises of people who may have already transitioned out of the military. They may still be in the military. And it's a way for this community to be together. Within each one of those, there are going to be opportunities to volunteer, to be on a committee, to be on the board, and to have leadership opportunities where you have an opportunity to be a leader within that group and to expand your networking group. So this is a very powerful statement from Vaughn. As you can see, he has absolutely taken advantage of the learning opportunities in a variety of ways. I think Vaughn has just about every alphabet covered after his name, but he's also a volunteer leader with IFMA. He's on the IFMA Certificate Commission. That means he is actively involved in helping to ensure that IFMA's FMP and SFP follow the guidelines that IFMA has set and looks to the future of it to ensure its credibility, that the FMP means as much today as it will in 30 years as it did 10 years ago. So this is really, really solid advice, and we appreciate this, Vaughn. And perfect timing. Thank you, Brent. You get out of it what you put in it. I could have said like 1,000 words in just that statement. Thank you so much, Brent.
And the next question,
And the last thing we're going to
go ahead.
Go ahead, Gail.
Is what KPI is key right now?
Sorry, there was a little bit of a delay there. And then last but very not least, another one of our shining stars here at IFMA, Jeff Williams, who is also an IFMA qualified instructor and has plenty of alphabet letters after his name. And he just lets you know that this is not something that is going to be, we have the magic answer. KPI is an indicator of business success, and it's a hard thing to just make a general statement about. It's really, your organization needs to look at what the key is to the success of your business, and then build one or multiple KPIs around that that have to do with facility management. And that way you can demonstrate your facility's commitment to the success of the business, or your facility management KPIs and strategies are showing the commitment to the success of the business. So Jeff has a really great answer there. This is not going to be just one thing. This is something that as a company you need to sit down, know really what the key is, and then craft your KPIs around that.
And that brings us to a simple way for you to take advantage of being a part of our webinar today. We would like to extend a thank you by offering you a discount code that you can use now through the end of January. If you are interested in any of those core competencies or the essentials of FM, please use code YourGoal50 to receive $50 off that pricing. Again, if you're looking at earning that credential, you can take $100 off using using the discount code YourGoal100, and that can be applied to the FMP, SFP, or that core competency course bundle of those 7 competencies. We are on the GSA schedule, and that is listed there at the bottom. That's going to be discounted pricing for any of our U.S. federal employees. They get to take advantage of that GSA schedule as well.
So just a slight correction. It's your goals with an S, 50, and your goals 100. And this will be on top of if you qualify for member pricing or GSA pricing. So it will be whatever that rate is, less either $50 or $100. And it's our way of, as Gail said, thanking you for being a part of this webinar and really showing an interest in it. I'm not sure if I've been kind of keeping an eye on the comments, ladies, and I don't see that we have any questions that have been posted that are kind of specific to this topic. There are a couple of questions that I think we should reach out to them directly. So there's a corporate connections at ifma.org email address that if you aren't sure about being public with your question or your request, feel free to reach out to this team using that email address. Yes, thank you. Perfect. Thank you, Daniela. She's behind the scenes and has been doing a great job of helping us produce this for you. All right. Any last words? We've talked about 2023 KPIs that really came to the forefront for people that they felt directly impacted them and that they really focused on. And we touched on some of the challenges for 2024. Obviously, we looked at resources for knowledge and information, and then continuing your training and your team's training. Anything, since it is January, I'm gonna didn't really talk about this in advance, but if you were to have a piece of advice, I'll start with you, Gail. Piece of advice for anybody who's watching this webinar, what would it be?
Really sit down, see where your company is, see how you can start to finish. What goals can you be the best organization, the best FM? Because this is where we are. The beginning of the year, let's figure out how do we make this happen throughout the 12 months that or the 11 months, I should say, that follow.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is set your KPI, understand, tie it to if you've got a balanced scorecard or other way that you're measuring what is important, what the strategy is for your organization in 2024, and then use these 12 months, 11 months to make an impact on that and to show with data, because data is incredibly important, what you're doing, what your team is doing to make an impact on the organization.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Starlin, same question for you.
Sure. And I'll piggyback a little bit on to that, but I will say, even if you're not at the beginning of your fiscal year, if your fiscal year doesn't run the calendar year, you may be mid-year. This is a great time to sit down and review your goals. It's not too late to start implementing some different things over the next, 5 to 6 months to ensure that you are going to be able to meet or exceed those goals. And that can be upskilling your team. If you find that there are some different gaps, you can reach out to us. We have a variety of resources that's not just training, but training is definitely something that we provide to help upskill and broaden your skill sets of you, not only yourselves, but your teams. And we want to be able to help support you any way that we can. So definitely sit down, maybe have a mid-year review or a calendar year setting of goals. And once you have that meeting set, reach out to us. We are here to help you guys. And that's really what IFMA is all about.
I love it. I love it. And I'll pose that question to myself. So my advice is in facility management, it continues to grow and evolve, right? So continue to grow and evolve yourself and incorporate an attitude or an approach to making learning a lifelong mission. Continue to be curious, continue to want to expand your knowledge, and do that in a variety of ways. Professional credentials are fantastic, but don't forget the human element. Reach out, grow your network, mentor, be a mentee, whatever helps you learn. But that would be my advice to you is continue to learn, and that's where you're going to find success. All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining us. We hope that you have found some value. If you did, please be sure to like this webinar, share it with anybody else who's within your professional network, and help them understand that the importance of setting KPIs, showing the difference that you're making, and then also continuing to learn. And until our next webinar, we wish you much success in 2024. Thanks again. Bye-bye.